All right, welcome back to Mind and Magic. Lameth over on Patreon says, just for the sake of playing devil's advocate, but what if we're wrong? What if all of this is just a clever ploy by the devil to lead us to hell? What if all the truths we think we've stumbled upon are just candy-coated lies meant to prop up our egos? I said to a pagan friend once when she told me that she doesn't believe in the Christian devil, "It's okay, he believes in you. This is the fear that holds me back." Well, then I guess we're going to hell. And of course I'm kidding, but if we're going to play the what if games, what if everything you've been told about this reality is a lie? What if reality really is what you make it? What if this all is really just a simulation and what you think about, you bring about? You know, I have a saying, and you may have heard me say it before in past videos, that those who go looking for devils and demons will find them. Now, what do I mean by that? It really comes down to the lens in which you view the world through. And we all do this. For example, a rich person may focus on things of value. What is something worth? And as such may see opportunities where other people do not see them. Likewise, those who always focus on demons and devils will have things happen that support their beliefs in demons and devils, where others may not see any correlation at all. I recall having multiple problems with dark entities when I first got into magic, not because I got into magic, but because I thought the same thing coming out of a very religious family. I too was focused on, what if it's the devil? What if there's demons? And then I would get disembodied hissing and growling in the garage. One night I was woken up by a dark entity, of which I had to torture it with questions of its own damnation, as I was very loving towards it instead of fearful to get it to leave. It couldn't get away from me fast enough. But that's the other point. There are really only two vibrations of which all the other vibrations stem from, and that is love and fear. And this mental game of what if it's the devil is rooted in fear. And of course, what you think about, you bring about. So you do have to be really careful. But I do understand the concern because I, like you and many others, who when they first started getting into magic, had the same type of concerns, whether it's from a strict religious upbringing or have listened too much to the fear-mongering of the churches, who love to put the fear of God and the devil into people. But again, because I've told this many times as well, the reason that I got into ceremonial magic specifically is because of its correlation to Christianity and Judaism. It would be much easier and more affordable to just be a pagan or Wiccan or do witchcraft. And much love to my pagan, Wiccan, and witchy friends. That's not a diss on them. It's a diss on me because being so pre-programmed by my parents and my religious upbringing, I had to choose something that was going to line up with that so as to not have a clash with that pre-programming, which is kind of what you're going through. Because you were brought up to believe one thing, but now your beliefs have changed, but those beliefs are clashing with that early programming to where you're now questioning things and worried about it. And this certainly can and will have an effect on your practice if you subconsciously believe that magic is evil. You know, it's just like the person who believes money is evil. Those kind of people usually don't have any money. Well, the same goes for magic. If you believe magic is evil, then you won't have any magic. The times that you attempt it, it'll probably fail because you're so preoccupied with whether or not you're doing something wrong. Magic isn't evil. Magic is a tool. It's neither good nor evil. It's up to the person wielding the magic on whether or not its purpose is good or evil. It's all about intent. And you know, we've gone over the mistranslation of sorcery in the Bible, which was actually pharmakia, pharmaceuticals, which on a side note, since I've been on the carnivore diet for 2 months now, almost exactly, I haven't had to take like half of my medications. I mean, I used to take like omeprazole every day for acid reflux or GERDs, but since I've been on carnivore, I haven't had to take that. Just slowly getting off the pharmakia. But, there are a lot of people who do take the scripture quite literally, full of mistranslations or not, who focus on some sins and not others. People who condemn homosexuality while they're sporting tattoos when they are literally both condemned just verses apart from each other in the same book of Leviticus. So if you have any tattoos, you better get them removed or just chop off the body part that they're on if you're able, because Matthew 5:30 says, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away, for it's better for you to lose the hand than your whole body be cast into hell. Scripture also says that we're all sinners and have fallen short of the glory of God, which is Romans 3:23, I believe. How much penance are we willing to do? How far are we willing to go? See, the church loves it when you focus on all the wrong you've been doing. And I think that's a key distinction, is we're focusing on success and where we want to be in life, while religion has a way of getting people to focus on the negative, and viewing things through those different filters will have different results. I've said it before that religion tries to get you to be responsible for God. That's part of the biblical fallacies. I've used this example before also. You may recall when I asked if a creator of a robot, which we're not too far off from, but if a creator creates a robot and that robot malfunctions and ends up killing a lot of people, is that the fault of the robot or the creator? Most people would say it's the creator. Robot doesn't know what it's doing, it's just following its programming. The creator is responsible, and he either made a mistake or he did it on purpose, of which he's really responsible. Well, the same goes for people. People are programmed, and if your programming has you malfunctioning and doing a bunch of crazy stuff that you shouldn't be, it's not really your fault because you weren't able to go against your programming. And people say, well, the devil programmed you. It's the devil's fault. Well, who created the devil? The same creator who created us, according to Scripture, correct? So it was either a mistake in creating the devil and people, which would mean that the creator is not perfect, maybe not all-knowing, or it was deliberate, which most Christians and people of faith believe. It's part of the master plan. Which again, if it's planned, how are you responsible? Was it your plan? The amount of guilt that the church has put on the people is really astounding. And the religious programming is very, very difficult to break. It is part of your core programming and belief system. And those religious beliefs are quite polarizing, which means that magnetizing force can be both attracting and repelling to similar or dissimilar beliefs, such as it trying to repel you away from magic right now, out of fear that the devil may be tricking you. You are fighting a battle between head and heart, your conscious beliefs versus your subconscious beliefs. And the subconscious almost always wins, so you're going to have to try to make peace with it. You are either going to need to reprogram yourself, which can be done, but it's going to take a lot of sigils and hypnosis to reprogram such a strong core belief. Or you're going to have to try to find common ground, which a lot of Christians would say there isn't any, but they also know nothing about magic, and ceremonial magic especially, for them to know if there is anything in common. They simply have no idea that we invoke the archangels almost daily and invoke other angels in Scripture, etc. And while it's true you could do the same with demons, we do so out of having authority over them, not because we wish to make a pact with them. Having authority over angels and demons is part of your birthright according to Scripture. It's the reason why the devil and his angels rebelled in the first place, according to the Quran. It was said that the Creator told the angels to bow before Adam, and Lucifer and a third of the angels refused to, not because they were wanting to usurp God's throne, but because they felt superior to man. Why should an entity, a being of fire and light, bow to a being made of clay? The rebellious spirits are not just rebellious against the Creator, they're also rebellious against you, if you afford them that opportunity, which we do not, or at least try to minimize those opportunities to rebel. It's ceremonial magic that has the sordid reputation of being mean to the demons. How dare we be mean to the demons? Why are you confronting your devils? It's kind of insane to think that the Creator would toss both people and the fallen angels down to the same quarantined little planet, because if the plan was to get people to turn away from sin, wouldn't you think he'd put the demons somewhere else so that they wouldn't mislead, so that they wouldn't be tricking people? See, Scripture is full of crazy fallacies like that. And if you start to think about it and follow that logic, it goes to some pretty crazy places. If we were not meant to communicate with them in any fashion, why would he put us down on earth to commingle? If you believe in Scripture, then we have been given authority over angelic beings. And just because the fallen angels don't like it and rebelled, doesn't mean that they are not bound to that. A lot of religious folk like to think of themselves as Christian warriors. Well, the magicians are the spiritual warriors because we invoke authority over the spirits. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that right away. I do believe in an initiation and acclimation period to be able to prepare yourself for that, but it is your inherent birthright to command such forces. But, a lot of Christians say the same thing. That's kind of their pitch, that the devil's tricking you. It's not real magic because the demons are doing it for you. And I'm just like, let me get this straight. The devil's tricking me into doing all my work for me? Well, what's the downside? Hey, guys, the devil's tricking me into working for me. Because I will put spirits to work. But anyway, I thought this was important enough of a topic to do a video on because this is a concern for many people, and I'm not really certain on how much I can alleviate those concerns because that tends to happen over the course of things. You don't really lose your fear of demons and devils overnight, and never really totally either because you will always take precautions. Modern magic, the times that we're living in, not the excellent book by the late Donald Craig, has gotten pretty lax when it comes to evocations and conjurations, saying that we should be pals with the demons. They could be a good friend and buddy. Don't be mean to them, which they're really mistaking being mean for commanding. You don't have to be rude. Being rude is a choice and one you shouldn't choose to do. You should be respectful, but you need to be commanding. Being lax on specific conjurations and bindings of the spirits should not be dismissed outright, their viewpoint being that they were all deeply religious back in those times, centuries ago, when a lot of these grimoires were written, and they aren't really needed. Well, I don't think that's the case at all. I think that there's a very specific purpose in the structure of the way these evocations are carried out and performed. Even invoking the Shem angels, there are certain ways of going about things, such as reciting certain psalm passages that correspond with that angel. But especially with fallen angels or demons, as in those in the Goetia, all the religiousness that is included in those conjurations isn't just merely about your protection, which it is, but also it's affirming your authority over them. You cannot command spiritual forces to obey you if you do not have authority over them. And some of them will try and test that authority. Now, Christians would say that that authority only comes from Jesus, but yet it was given to Adam. It is your human birthright. But this is why I chose ceremonial magic personally, because it fits well within the paradigm and pantheon that my subconscious beliefs have been programmed by during my upbringing. Now, we do all types of magic on the channel and in the memberships, but you don't have to do all magic. You could just stick with the type of magic that is comfortable to you, such as working with the Shem angels, invoking the archangels for assistance. They can help with a lot of things. And you could be as religious as you want to be with it, or you can dial it all the way back and just get some instructions into your subconscious mind for subconscious programming hacks that manifest things without any religion involved. It's really up to you which type of magic if any, is right for you. I want to thank everyone for listening and Lameth for asking the questions. And if you'd like to join us over on Patreon, there is a free trial with the $5 tier. It'll give you access to exclusive videos and content such as this, and we would love to have you join us. A reminder that Thanksgiving's around the corner. I will be taking a week off while we do the Thanksgiving giveaway again. So I want to wish everyone in the U.S. anyway a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time. Take care.